Iranians who have left the country are also finding ways to have their say, and one initiative is really resonating with people around the world, and it's this, an online comic strip. The main character is Zara, a mother whose son disappeared during the 2009 presidential election protests known as the Green Revolution. Zara has been running a fictitious presidential campaign built around a platform of human rights and greater democracy. She's also been getting a little bit of support with people posting pictures of themselves with her image on the Vote for Zara website. For more on how virtual campaigns like Zara's can raise awareness about the issues in Iran, like human rights, as well as push for more democracy, I'm joined by Amir Soltani from Berkeley, California. He's an Iranian-American journalist and also the creator of Zara's Paradise. Great to have you on the show. What inspired you to write and draw this character?
Well, you know, the inspiration for Zara's Paradise came from Iran. If you remember in the 2009 protests, literally millions of people went into the streets of Tehran, and they were all out there with their cell phones. You had the birth of the citizen journalist, because they wanted their image and their protest and their vision of Iran seen and felt. So Zara's Paradise, our graphic novel, was really a compilation of the images that were coming out of the 2009 protests. Suddenly the world saw another Iran, and it was a beautiful Iran. It was gentle and united and full of hope. And so we wanted to capture that. And in a sense, we always say that the Iranian people were the co-authors of Zara's Paradise. The graphic novel is a great medium for communication. It's fast, it's cheap, and it's easy. And then on the internet, all the barriers of space and time and distance and language broke down. So before we knew it, a lot of people were just coming on our website and rooting for Zahra, really rooting for, since Zahra's really was the story of a real mother who was about to bury her son, who'd essentially all he had done was ask, "Where is my vote?" She resonated with people. There was this sense that Iranians shouldn't have to be constantly burying their children in Zahra's Paradise, which is the main cemetery in Iran, simply for wanting a better future.
Do you think it resonated mostly with expats and Iranian Americans like yourself, or it also resonated inside Iran? I think 300 people or so voted for Zara inside Iran, right?
Well, that's a great point. You know, Zahra is really the only woman candidate in the race at the moment. All the female candidates were banned. The problem we have inside Iran is that essentially the Council of Guardians, which are 12 clerics, unelected clerics and jurists, they decide who can run and who can't run for president. So you have the system rigged at its very beginning, and it's rigged against women, which is 50% of the population. And if you consider the fact that the 12 men on the Council of Guardians are all average age 70, when in fact Iran is a country of 70 million, and about, if I'm not mistaken on this, I think around 70% of the country are under 35. So there's no candidate who's representing women, there's no candidate who's representing the youth. And so we wanted Zahra to stand in for that. And the other thing that Zahra is doing is that she's standing against the death penalty. As you know, Iran is the leading executioner per capita in the world. The Islamic Republic is. The crane has really become this monstrous symbol of hangings. And we're just tired of that. You know, after 30 years of this, the Iranian people are tired of it. Friends of mine have been saying that in some ways being in Iran is kind of like being hostage. It's as if, you know, the American hostage crisis is solved, but the Iranian hostage crisis continues. Because we have a supreme leader who rules the country with 60 votes that were cast in 1989. That's almost 25 years ago. So by what right does a single man rule an entire country with only 60 votes? Zahra has a lot more votes than he does.
Zara may end up in a Wien prison at some point. You realize this, given everything that she stands for, right? Listen,
you know,
what worries you most about Iran today?
I think there are a couple of things that are of great concern. The Islamic Republic has made the enrichment of uranium the absolute sovereign right of the Iranian people, and it portrays the outside world as wanting to take the Iranian people's rights away. Whereas in reality, what you have is that the Iranian people, you know, they say you have the sovereign right to nuclear enriched uranium, but you don't have the sovereign right to free and fair elections. You don't have the sovereign right to choose your own leaders. If you're a woman, you don't even have the sovereign right to let the air go through your hair. I mean, it's really ridiculous. It's kind of creating a dungeon inside Iran, and that's the dungeon that the Iranian people want to break out of. And really, these elections, the problem with them is that all the candidates are essentially people who are part of the system. And those of us who are outside can't ask some basic questions like, we don't want war with the outside world. We don't want this level of economic hardship. We don't want this level of cultural domination. The Islamic Republic's motto is neither East nor West. And our motto is Iran is both East and West.
Thank you so much, Amir Sultani from Berkeley in California, the creator of Zara's Paradise. We'll see what happens to Zara next, okay? Thank you.